Hello, this is NEWSPLUS on Via Television. I am Deborah Ndokaife. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has asked President Bola Tinubu to change the new Student Loans Act to an education grant for indigent students. The ASU National President, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, stated this in an interview. According to the ASU President, more than 90% of students won't meet the stringent requirements to access and repay the loan. Recall that on Monday, Tinubu signed into law the student loan bills in fulfillment of a promise he made during his campaign. The bill, sponsored by the immediate past Speaker of the Night House of Assembly, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, and the current Chief of Staff, provides for interest-free loans to poor Nigerian students. However, the ASU president said the loan is impracticable, adding that the loan is not sustainable. The National Industrial Court has declared that the court restraining the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and Trade Union Congress (TUC) from embarking on their planned industrial action subsists. Justice Olufunke Anwe stated that the order, as granted on June 5th, subsists pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. The court, in addition, ordered that the parties maintain the status quo and adjourn the matter until July 20th for hearing. Earlier, when the case was called, the federal government's counsel Ochum Emmanuel informed the court that the matter was slated for Monday for the claimant to take its motion on notice for an interlocutory injunction to restrain the defendant from embarking on strike. Marshal Abubakar, the defendant counsel, on his part, however, replied that they had filed an application praying the court to set aside its order granted on June 5th, restraining his client from embarking on the strike. NAMA Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Marwa, has disclosed that the fight against substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking has yielded significant results in the last 29 months, with the arrest of 31,675 drug offenders, 5,147 of them prosecuted and convicted, while over 6.3 million kilograms of assorted drugs were seized within the same period. Marwa stated this in Abuja at a joint press briefing with the country's representative of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, Oliver Stobe, to flag off week-long activities marking the 2023 World Drug Day, which is an annual event to mobilize resources, align policies, and inspire organizations, communities, and nations to work in a particular direction to effectively tackle the challenges of illicit substances in society. According to the NDLEA boss, this year's theme, People's First, Stop Stigma and Discrimination, Strengthen Prevention, is in furtherance of the whole of society approach to taming the drug scourge. He expressed appreciation of the partnership between NDLEA's NGOs, development partners, and the various group institutions and relevant professionals in society, including media professionals who have been very supportive of the renewed war on drugs. Now, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has raised the alarm over the nationwide proliferation of unapproved herbal products, which it described as dangerous. The NAFDAC Director General Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, told journalists in Abuja on Monday that most of the herbal medicines were in the form of snuff and oral liquids, which she said were mainly sold by street hawkers. The Director General also noted that the enforcement team of the agency was commencing a nationwide clampdown on the manufacturers and traders who sold such uncertified products. She further said the agency has commenced a nationwide mop-up of a substance referred to as sacra herbs in circulation. And 3 presiding officers of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) have revealed to the Presidential Election Petition Court (PEPSI) that the refusal of the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) to transmit the presidential election results on election day frustrated their jobs. The officers admitted that the results of the Senate and the House of Representatives elections were transmitted unhindered and that the problems of technical hitches arose at the point of transmitting only the presidential poll results. Testifying on subpoena at the ongoing hearing of petitions challenging the outcome of the February 25th presidential election, the three witnesses admitted that the election process went well until the period the Beavers machine refused to work. The presiding officers had been summoned by the court through the joint application of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and Abubakar Atiku, and to appear before it and give account of their experience in relation to results transmission during the last presidential election. Meanwhile, the presiding justice of the court, Justice Haruna Samani, has fixed 20th of June for the continuation of hearing into the petition. We'll be going on a quick break, and when we come back, News Plus continues. Stay with us.
In this 21st century, where all the information we need is now in the palm of our hands. News from around the world, entertainment, celebrity gossip, sports, and much more. The only thing that you need is the right source. Viewer TV is now on the go. Simply check us out on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter for all the information you need.
Inagwaje kama ya neno wamono Okungwali boy katienti Iluzia buloa Onyo mebezi nani go Okungwali boy katienti Iluzia wolo nana Mwane mebene bene bene Onyo mebezi nani go Ogazi amaka wajina gomo Ogazi amaka wajina Osilio nyama Mkengeni tunibina Ekeke na logika isabelo Aji ashagata namu Sakebeno Aji asalebe ebeno Asadebe na yamu Obi amuze no chini mo selebe mo Namo namo na Mwane me bene bene namo.
Welcome back to News Plus on Viewer Television. Now, Governor Agbu Kefas of Taraba State has approved the immediate dissolution of all existing boards and commissions in the state. The directive, which came on Monday from the governor, said all boards and commissions still existing in the state under the description are dissolved with immediate effect. The dissolution, which was contained in a statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Barrister Gegon Kataps, said it is with immediate effect. On ascending the number one position of the state, the governor dissolved all the existing chairmen of the various boards and parastatals established by the immediate past governor, Darius Ishaku. Kefas also dissolved the caretaker committee chairman of the 16 local government councils of the state. And Governor Kefas Agbu has flagged off the distribution of over 100 million naira among the vulnerable people across the 16 local government of the state, flagging off the distribution of livelihood grants on Taraba State COVID-19 action recovery and economic stimulus. The governor said the project is targeted to support youth empowerment as well as to reduce poverty. Now let's take your attention to Kaduna State, where the newly elected House of Representative members for Chikun Kajiru Federal Constituency under the platform of the Labour Party has donated 10 500 kilovolt ampere transformer to different communities in his constituency. This is coming barely 5 days in office. Ekene Abubakar, who flagged off the distribution in Kaduna on Sunday, also donated 6 cars to various individuals who contributed immensely to his emergence in the 2023 general election, and defeated the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Yakubu Barde, who has been in the Green Chamber for the past 20 years. Take a look.
I feel so very excited because this is the first of its kind in the history of Nigerian politics. What Ekene Adams Abubakar has did, this really shows that, yeah, this is the dividend of democracy we can see. First of its kind in the history of Nigeria. This because he's a new elected member, House of Reps, representing Chikun and Kaduna Federal Constituency. This is for the first time. Elected member has been in the office without any allowance, no salary, but he came to empower people with millions of naira. With thousands of people are here to appreciate what he did to them. We pray for God to continue to be with him and protect him and guide him.
You can imagine someone that has not even started the official mandate he's giving out. So I want to advise other leaders to emulate from this very good example. He's a leader indeed, and I pray that God Almighty will uphold him and give him wisdom to continue successfully in his.
All villages, as you said, that we visited, we know their challenges one after the other. And I assure you, this what you just see today is just, we've been swelling just 7 days to today, and today you could see this. I'm telling you, by the special grace of God, in the history of politics in Kaduna State, they will surely keep on saying something of this magnitude.
The World Poverty Clock has reported that there are 71 million extremely poor Nigerians according to 2023 data. The World Poverty Clock is a tool used to track poverty progress worldwide. The Rivers State All Progressive Congress governorship candidate, Tony Cole, quoted data showing that 71 million Nigerians are extremely poor, and the National Bureau of Statistics classifies 133 million people as multi-dimensionally poor. He spoke at the Nigerian Zero Hunger Symposium in Abuja, organized by the T200 Foundation to mark World Hunger Day, and unveiled Nigeria's hunger report. The T200 Foundation's report shows that Nigeria has a serious hunger problem with global hunger index score of 27.9, but there are significant variations in the score across states. Executive Director of T200 Foundation, Emmanuel Osadebe, stressed the need for collaboration among stakeholders to end hunger in Nigeria by 2030 in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. And now the Sultan of Sokoto and President of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Muhammadu Abubakar, have declared Wednesday, June 28 as the day to mark Eid al-Adha. The NSIA president said this in a statement issued by the National Moon Sighting Committee, declaring Monday, June 19 as the first day of the Dhu Hijjah 444 AH. Eid ul-Kabir, as it is called, is the second celebration in the Hijrah calendar, with the first being Eid Fitr, which marks the end of the holy Ramadan month. During the 10 days leading up to the celebration, Muslims are urged to increase their acts of worship and ask Allah for all their heart's desires. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted cloudiness and thunderstorms from Monday to Wednesday across the country. NIMET's weather outlook predicted a cloudy atmosphere on Monday, with patches of clouds over the northern region, with prospects of morning thunderstorms over parts of Adamawa, Kaduna and Taraba states. The agency anticipated a sunny atmosphere on Tuesday, with patches of clouds over the northern region and the prospect of morning thunderstorms over parts of Sokoto, Kebbi, Taraba and Adamawa states. According to NIMET, in areas where thunderstorms are expected, strong winds are likely to precede the rains. As such, trees, electric poles, unsecured objects and weak buildings may be felled. Let's take a break to go, and when we come back, we'll continue. And now on international, a notorious armed group suspected of annihilating at least 41 people at Ugandan school has received funds from the alleged Islamic State, according to a UN report. The Allied Democratic Forces, accused of the attack last Friday in the western Ugandan town of Pondwe, has been blamed for thousands of civilian deaths in neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo. In a report due to be published this week, UN experts on the DRC shed light on the hazy financial connections between the two groups. The Islamic State has provided financial support to ADFs since at least 2019 through a complex financial scheme involving individuals in several countries on the continent, emanating from Somalia and going through South Africa, Kenya and Uganda. Officials said that 7 students at the Lubra Secondary School were killed, 17 in the Touch Men's Dormitory, and 20 female students who ran but were hacked to death. 4 non-students were also killed. Now, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has hailed an African mission to broker peace in Ukraine as historic upon returning from talks in Kyiv and St. Petersburg that, however, did not yield any immediate result. A high-profile delegation met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Saturday before flying to Russia to speak with Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin. The mission brought the voice of a continent that has badly suffered from repercussions of the Ukraine conflict, particularly with rising grain prices. It put forward a 10-point proposal, including de-escalation, the recognition of country sovereignty, unimpeded grain exports through the Black Sea, and sending prisoners of war and children back to their countries of origin. Now, Ramaphosa says one of the key achievements of the mission was the positive reception it received from the both sides, which was encouraging and as well provides cause for optimism that the proposal will be given consideration. Both Zelensky and Putin have agreed to further engagement, he noted. British MPs cast their judgment on a damning report that found ex-Prime Minister Boris Johnson lied to Parliament about lockdown-breaking parties. A House of Commons debate about the report is being held on Johnson's 59th birthday, likely leading to the removal of the pass to access Parliament as Prime Minister Rishi Sunak struggles to move the crisis-hit country on from his predecessor, many scandals. Johnson and his dwindling supporters have portrayed this report by the Common Privileges Committee as a witch hunt, and he resigned as a member of the parliament just before its publication. But Sunak, who has promised to restore integrity to government, said its bipartisan members had done their work thoroughly. However, Sunak's office refused to say whether he would attend the debate, and he declined to be drawn on how MPs should decide if the report is put to a vote. Israeli's forces on Monday killed 2 Palestinians and wounded more than 2 dozen others during a raid in the occupied West Bank, Palestinian officials said. Jenin's Deputy Governor Kamar Abu al-Rabab revealed that the Israeli forces had launched the raid at around 4 a.m. Meanwhile, the Israeli army did not immediately provide any information on the raid in the northern West Bank city when contacted. Israel has occupied the West Bank since the 1967 Six-Day War, and its forces regularly launch incursions into Palestinian cities which are nominally under the control of President Mahmoud Abbas' Palestinian Authority. Since the start of the year, at least 161 Palestinians, 21 Israelis, a Ukrainian and an Italian have been killed in violence linked to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, according to a tally compiled from the official sources. And that's all on News Plus. Many thanks for watching. I am Deborah Ndukaife. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you.